Nobody seems to tell you how to hit your driver both long and straight. That's exactly what we're going to do in today's video. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson and welcome back to Get Good at Golf. On this channel, we're trying to help you get good at golf just one day at a time. Now, if you want to hit longer drives, the answer to that is to create more ball speed. To create more ball speed, we need more club head speed, and to create more club head speed, we need the right sequence through the golf swing. Now, that's simple. That's actually quite... Most people can get their head around that. But how do I do that as well as hitting straighter drives? We have to square this club face up in order to do so. Not only do we have to square the club face up, we have to square the path up. Now you're thinking, I've got so much going on in my head, how on earth can I tie all those things together to hit better drives? Now what if I told you it was all the same thing? So what I want to do is make sure that not only my setup's correct, but if I get my angle of attack correct, didn't mean to hit that one, but if I get my angle of attack correct, then generally I can hit longer, straighter drives because that club face is coming through nice and square. We'll have to reload that one, Chris, because I just didn't mean to hit the ball. But Golf On system will give us another golf ball. Now, what I mean by this is if you were to cut across this golf ball, we know that's going to produce a slice or a fade, and we also know it's not going to give us the most ball speed possible and probably too much spin possible. So yes, that is cutting back. The drive's not gone a very long way, but generally if I cut across that ball, I know I'm not going to hit straight shots, I'm not going to hit long shots, so really we've got the worst of every single world there. Now, if I were to make sure that my driver works up on this golf ball, we're talking low point now, and with the driver I want the low point before the ball. That means the club is then working up towards the ball, and if it's working up towards the ball, it's generally going to be working more out to the right. That's exactly what we want to be doing here, because we want to match that club face up with our spine angle. So if I'm talking spine angle now, do I want my spine angle forward down into the ball? Does that look like that's going to deliver a good, nice attack angle? Probably not. If my spine angle stays where it is, so it stays behind the ball where the low point is, from there I can turn into the shot. I still get the weight transfer that I want. I still move into the lead side, the left side if you're a right-handed golfer, the other side if you're the left-handed golfer, the other side. But then from there, that club face is much more likely to be squared up the entire way through. And that is how we can hit straighter golf shots, because the club isn't, I'll tell you what, it's delivering me another one. That's how we hit straighter golf shots, because I know that club face isn't being manipulated. I'm not cutting across it. I'm not trying to flip the hands at it. I can just deliver a club face nice and square into this delivery position, and from there, I can turn through, spine angle stays behind, and then I can turn through into that finishing position. Now, in order to do that, I need to make sure that I load properly into the top of the backswing. So I want to make sure I'm loaded into that trail side, the right side if you're a right-handed golfer. From there, I push off and rotate my entire body on the way down. You can see how I almost squat down into this. I turn through, the low point is pre-ball, then the driver hits up on the ball. That lower spin rate, it allows me to create as much club head speed as possible. Earlier on we spoke about club head speed resulting in ball speed. We know ball speed results in distance. So this is how everything now starts to tie in. It's one move that could salvage your golf game if you really struggle with a driver. If I hit you a shot now and we look at just how this club face moves through the shot, you can see here that's a nice high straight drive, and if I were to show you just how this club head did move through the shot, you will see there is not a lot of club rotation there. That club face is still ever so slightly open on the way through. I've struck it a little bit out of the toe, but it's not flipping over, it's not being held off, and that is exactly what we want in order for you to hit straighter golf shots and create more distance. This is how it all ties in really, really nicely. Chris is going to give us a really good drill for this as well, but the last thing I want to see you do is come over the top here, cut across the ball, low point being in front of the ball. I want to make sure that low point stays nice and behind, attack it nice and shallow, and from there I can create much better drives. Look at that in the air. Oh yes.
So we need to think now. James has mentioned about setup. So when we get into a setup with this, we do see a lot of it when we go down the driving range where we've still got your iron kind of setup. Everything's a little bit straight up. That's going to encourage that path James mentioned, that over the top, working down, working left. And if you're somebody who catches it heel, sees a lot of cutty shots, That is why we need to think about when you take your setup, the final move you want to do is bring the right hand on and get this upper body angled away a little bit. That's going to help us from setup to get to that angle of attack, working up onto the ball, like James mentioned. Once we get it up, we're going to obviously get the ball launching better, we're going to get less spin, it's going to carry further, and in general get you closer to the hole where you've got less club going in, and we know that is going to help you lower your handicap. But the one final thing we see is, yes, everybody does that, right? I've got my setup, I've checked that, I know I'm angled back, I'm going to be hitting up, but it is now releasing that club head. A lot of people think, right, to get it hitting hard, I want to drive through that shot, I want to drive through the ball, and we start to see this kind of position here. And where's that club face pointing? If I hit a shot doing that, you will...
That is not what we're on, is it?
You'll not see that. It was that good that it's not picked it up. So we'll hit another one.
I was worried for the screen then, I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie, that was one of James's great demonstrations there. Let's see if it's ready. So if I do that now and I start to drag that club, you'll see that I'll leave the club face wide open. We'll be driving that, you see that it goes to the right. I've then misstruck it. So we've got a total carry there of 92 yards. Going 111. I'd like to think that I could probably hit my sand wedge as far as that. So you think, well, I've done all that work, I've got angled away, I'm hitting up on it, but that position there is going to be taking too much loft off. It's also going to be missing you to the right, and we're not going to be consistent with how we get that ball coming off. So the opposite we see from there is that people think, right, I've been told that I need to release that club head, get to the top, start to release from here. It's called casting. Yes, fishing. Franklin does that here at Waterfront. Once he does that, we're returning with a lot of loft. I've got no kind of pressure. If you want to hit a golf shot far, is that a strong position to come in? Is that going to help you hit long straight drives? No, it's not. Sometimes we're going to hit it left, sometimes we're going to top the ball, we're going to hit all the shots we dread to see. So we've got to think about, where does the release want to come? So we want all the speed to be down at the bottom of the golf ball. So when we talk about sequencing, once we've loaded to the top, once we've got a nice takeaway with the body and the club, we load to the top. From here now, I want to be getting that lower body going, and we come into this delivery position here. You see that the club is pointing straight down the line, and from here, this is where we want to start to release that club head so the speed is out at the golf ball. We're getting the speed into the impact zone so we can generate that. If I hold that off, there is no speed. And a good drill for you to do to see if you are releasing the club head at the right time is to start to see if this club is making any noise. You see, if I come down and I release it early, there is no swoosh down at the golf ball. We can't hear anything. If I then drag that club, there's a little bit of a noise, but we know that's going to then send me straight out to the right. If we now get this club head releasing correctly, if I swing to the top, I do my takeaway, could do this one-handed or two-handed. From here, when we come down, you can see we can hear that noise. We can hear it generate. The release is down here. So the noise I am hearing when I swing is down here. It's not up here because we don't want that.
You threw me there. I was down there waiting.
It's down there. It's not up here. We're not going to be wanting the speed to be coming out of the club here. And it's also not through there in your finish position, up and down, James. Where are you? You're lost. So we want to make sure that that noise is coming out here in the impact position, so where we want the club head speed to generate a long straight drive. So, oh, James has been up ready. Look at that. So once we've done that, we've got all those tick boxes. I'm feeling like my release is down there. You could put this into your practice swing, or when you're warming up on the first tee. Let's start to get the speed down at the golf ball and at the impact. And then once I've come in, I've done my checks, I'm angled away. I'm going to let this release. You'll see that ball launches nice and straight, a nice solid sound off the driver. That's going to help you hit longer, straighter drives and get good at golf.